Hey there, I'm Coach Bradley T. I'm going to be talking about one of the topics that gets me the most fired up right now because I hear it a lot, and that is the topic of the baseball swing and a softball swing are different, and the baseball swing doesn't work in a softball game. Now, I've heard this a lot. I've coached a lot of softball players who have a baseball background. I'm a baseball player myself. I grew up playing the sport. I played one summer of competitive men's fast pitch as well, so I have a little bit of an understanding of, does the baseball swing work in the softball world? The answer is yes, the baseball swing works in the softball world, but allow me to explain one of the conditions with it. That condition is that why people think that the baseball swing doesn't work in the softball world is because when you have baseball players that transfer over to softball, they struggle. They don't struggle because their swing is not good. Their swings are fine. The problem with baseball players that are trying to make the switch is that when they first come into the sport, the pitching is so different. Your whole trigger for when you think you should be swinging and where you're trying to identify pitches from is so much lower as the pitch is coming down to the plate because the pitchers are releasing the ball from an underhand position. In your average baseball game, once you get over about the age of 12, pitchers are standing on an elevated mound throwing from an overhand position. That's what you get used to. That's what you get used to seeing. When you have a pitch that's now coming from down to up, your swing decision completely changes and it gets really hard for you. Your swing is completely fine as a baseball player. It's just your pitch recognition and your ability to actually know when to start your swing and what height the pitch is going to be at is completely changed, and it takes a number of months, maybe even a year, to fully start to understand where the pitch is going to be. If you take your average girls baseball player growing up, train her for a year how to just identify and recognize pitches and tell her to not change her swing at all, she's going to be completely fine. She may struggle a little bit on the rise ball, but counterpoint, name me a single hitter out there that does really well on the rise ball. Everybody struggles with the rise ball. So stop using that as an example as to why baseball players can't hit softball pitching, because no softball hitters can hit the rise ball well either. So all that to say, baseball players can definitely make the transition, and the baseball swing works in softball. What baseball players need to do is that they need to just to see the pitching and start to understand and start to recognize where their pitch selection is going to be, where their trigger is going to have to start from. I'll just sum it up like this. Let's do the inverse. So first, let's start off with baseball players are facing pitchers from an elevated position and they're further back. Softball pitchers throw from about 43 feet, baseball pitchers throw from about 60. So let's do the inverse to a softball player, but make it the baseball situation. Softball pitchers throw from 43 feet, so let's put a baseball pitcher throwing from 35 feet on a mound from an overhand position. Every single softball player is going to struggle with that because your pitch recognition and your ability to identify the pitch is going to be completely changed. However, you give them about a year of seeing pitches from 35 feet and an elevated position from the overhand slot, they're probably going to figure it out and they're probably going to be fine. So let's stop talking about, does the baseball swing work in softball? It absolutely does. What you just need to have is just time to start to recognize where the pitches are. So softball coaches out there, stop trying to uncoach baseball players out of their swing and teach them the softball swing. Baseball swing, a softball swing, it doesn't matter. A good swing is a good swing is a good swing as long as you can identify the pitch and have good pitch recognition and you're on time with the pitch, you'll be able to hit balls hard. I'm Coach Bradley T. I'll catch you in the next one. Till next time, work hard, level up, compete, repeat.